Om Sahanāvavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Last week we saw the introduction to Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Today we shall get on to the actual Gita, but before that, if time permits, we'll get on to the actual Gita. Otherwise, before that, I thought we will little bit talk about this invocation that we chant before every class, what I just chanted. And also after that, there is this invocation called Dhyana Shlokas, which I spoke last week. And this Dhyana Shlokas is the invocation to Bhagavad Gita written by Swami Madhusudana Saraswati. So it is not originally written by sage Vyasa. So actual invocation to Bhagavad Gita is Dhyana Shloka, or it is also called as Gita Dhyanam. It has about 9 shlokas. So we'll talk about it. If time permits, we'll talk about it today. Otherwise, first I want to talk about this invocation that we chant before every class. Om Sahanāvavatu. This is a very famous invocation. This is actually an invocation for the Upanishads that is given in Krishna Yajurveda. So all the Upanishads that is given in Krishna Yajurveda, this is the invocation. And this invocation we chant before our Gita class. So we should understand what is this invocation talking about, why we should chant the invocation. It's an invocation is a prayer. So invocation is to invoke the right spirit externally and internally. It is chanted by both the guru and the shishya, the teacher and the taught. So, the teacher is teaching the knowledge and the students are receiving the knowledge. They need to be in the right frame of mind to be able to receive the knowledge. So the senses need to be tuned in, the mind needs to be tuned in, the intellect needs to be tuned in for us to receive this knowledge. See, before coming to this class, you might have walked in from different environment. You could have been facing certain challenges. Probably you were driving the car and came here, so your mind is still not settled. So when we sit down, we need to first tune in our outer personality as well as the inner personality so that we can gain the knowledge. So that's the prayer, that's the invocatory prayer. So both the teacher and the taught together, they pray to bring about the right attitude so that they can get the complete benefit of this knowledge. This knowledge will make a difference in our life only to the extent we were available while receiving it, and after having received it, how much we reflect over it and apply it in our life. So it's entirely in our hands. So first, the invocation starts with Om. Any auspicious thing we start with either Om or Om Tat Sat. Tat Sat means that, Tat means that, Sat means reality or existence. What is Om? Om is the designation of Brahman or divinity, a symbol of Brahman or divinity, and it is a sound symbol. So Om is not a word, it's a sound, and Om sound encompasses the complete range of sound. A, U, M. A, when you say, the sound starts from the base. the beginning range of sound. When you say ah, and then when you say oo, the mid range, and then when you say the end range. So a, u, completely together represent the entire sound range. And sound is that which emanates from silence, exists in silence, and dissolves in silence. Sound is that which emanates from silence, exists in silence, dissolves in silence. Right? So, before we say Om, the silence is there. And even when we say Om, the silence is there. But because of the sound, we are not aware of that silence. And then when we chant the Om, after the conclusion of chanting of Om, there is silence. So, sound emanates from silence, exists in silence, dissolves in silence. That silence is Brahman or divinity. And from that divinity, this entire universe that has come, which is represented by the sound, and the silence pervades the sound. So, that Brahman is designated as Om because Om is not just the sound, Om is sound and the silence. Matra and Amatra, they say. So, silence pervades the entire range of sound. Similarly, Brahman, the divinity, pervades the entire universe. The complete manifestation. And the complete manifestation is the waking state, the dream state, and deep sleep state. A human being goes through 3 states of consciousness. And Brahman or divinity is called as the pure consciousness. The pure consciousness that pervades the entire manifestation. So, the 3 states of consciousness are waking, dream, and deep sleep. So, when we say A is taken to represent the waking state. And when we say U is taken to represent the dream state. When we say Im is taken to represent the deep sleep state. Why it is so? Because when you are in deep sleep, technically, the pure consciousness is there, but there are no thoughts, mind, or the subtle body and the gross body. What is there in deep sleep? There is only vasanas, called as causal body. I'll explain all this. The human being is supposed to be constituted of the pure consciousness plus Karana Shariram, means causal body, and Sukshma Shariram, means subtle body, and Sthula Shariram, means gross body. So, pure consciousness plus causal body CB plus subtle body SB plus gross body, the physical body GB. This is you, me, and all of us, right? In one form, Mr. X, in another form, Mr. Y, etc. But all of us are nothing but the combination of this. So, in deep sleep, every one of us, when we are in deep sleep, our vasanas comes from the root vas means fragrance. Every individual has a particular fragrance, temperament, nature, right? Somebody is interested in dance, somebody is interested in painting, somebody is interested in sports, somebody is interested in philosophy, engineering, etc. So, this is called the vasanas, impressions. As of now, you understand it like that. In deep sleep, what is there? Only that vasanas, impressions are there. Isn't it? Morning, you are a cricketer. You go to sleep. And next day morning when you get up, do you get up as a dancer? You get up as a cricketer only. Why? Because when you were in sleep, the very cricketing nature was in unmanifest condition. That is called vasanas. Right? And the vasanas are enlivened by consciousness. Now, there is one problem. In deep sleep, we are not conscious of anything. So, we think there is no consciousness. What Vedanta says is, consciousness is all pervading, it is there in deep sleep also. But there is no object or thought for it to be conscious of. Right? So, there is consciousness plus the vasanas in the unmanifest condition, desires in the unmanifest condition. Okay, this is deep sleep. So, when you say the lips are completely closed, there is no opening, there is no manifestation. So, you call that deep sleep state, which is unmanifest state, as represented by is represented by that deep sleep unmanifest state. Right? And then when you say ooh, your mouth is not fully open, nor is it fully closed. Right? This is what happens in dream also. In dream state, what is happening is the karana shariram, because it is the karana means cause. The reason you are born in this classroom is because you have vasana to study the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. If you had vasana to attend something else, there are other classes going on. Same time in Zoom, same time in person, isn't it? In Delhi, many different classes are there. According to your vasanas, you will be in that environment. Correct? So, the vasanas causes the birth. The vasanas causes the birth of you in a particular environment. Therefore, it is the causal body. Right? And from that, the subtle body comes, which is nothing but thoughts, the mind and intellect. Right? Sukshma shariram. So, in the dream state, what is happening is, there are thoughts, but they are not very well defined thoughts. Thoughts are there. So, it is not completely manifested state, nor is it an unmanifest state, it is in between. So, when you say ooh, it is neither fully said with mouth open nor mouth closed. So, ooh represents dream state. Is that clear? Then, when you say ah, it is said with your mouth completely open. Right? So, when your mouth is fully open, it is the fully manifest state. It represents the fully manifest state, which is the waking state. It is the waking state. So, R represents waking state. So, in the waking state, there is pure consciousness plus causal body plus subtle body plus the gross body. Right? In the dream state, the gross body is not there. Are you with me? So, what is waking state? Pure consciousness plus causal body plus subtle body plus gross body. And what is dream state? Pure consciousness plus causal body plus subtle body. What is deep sleep state? Pure consciousness plus causal body. And the pure consciousness or divinity or Brahman, in the individual, from the individual angle, we call it as Atma, is beyond the manifest and the unmanifest state. That is your real self. So, Om is both the sound and the silence put together, Matra and Amatra. Right? The silence is the self that pervades the entire range of sound. So, the entire manifested and unmanifest state has pure consciousness as its substratum. So, what is the purpose of this study? Why are we coming together every week? To gain this knowledge and realize our true nature, which is represented by Om. So first is we chant Om to remind ourselves of that goal. And also as an individual, I can only exert certain effort, but I need help and protection from that divinity so that I can continue in the path till I reach the goal. Right? So this prayer is for that purpose. There should be no obstacles. In case there are any obstacles, oh Lord, please help me to ward off those obstacles so that I can continue in my path. Isn't it? Very often what happens, we start, but halfway through we get involved in some challenge or the other, and then we get completely lost. We don't go through the whole thing. So I am starting something to bring about a complete transformation in me. So till I achieve transformation, I should continue. Right? So first is Om. We chant Om. Teacher and the taught together. Invoking the auspicious divinity. Be our support. And then he says, Sahanāvavatu. May he protect us. Very important, right? We can fall ill physically, or we can fall into certain mental depression. Anything can happen, right? We need to be protected. See, when we are initiated into the knowledge, we are impregnated with this knowledge. Till it gets established, we need protection. That is why we say you must follow disciplined living. Disciplines are very important. To have good company is very important. We can't say, I've got this knowledge now, any kind of company doesn't matter. Right? When we are sitting inside the room, even then we have thoughts of the world coming and disturbing us. What are our chances when we are sitting right in front of the objects of the world, object of our desire? We will be completely sucked, isn't it? We lose ourselves in the object. So therefore, we need to protect ourselves. We need to have this mindset to be able to continue till I bring about transformation. Once I am transformed, then nothing affects me. In the Bhajagovindam, there is a verse number 19. Adi Shankara gives this Bhajagovindam. In that he says, Yogaratova bhogaratova sangaratova sangavihinaha yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandat eva. Whether you are in yoga, union with the self, in the spiritual field. Bhoga means indulgence in the world. Yogaratova bhogaratova. Whether in spiritual field or in indulgent field. Sangaratova sangavihinaha. Whether in the company group or alone. Sangavihinaha means alone. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam. One who is reveling in Brahman at the mind level. Chittam, right? Nandati, nandati, nandat eva. He is happy, verily happy. He cannot be disturbed because he is always carrying Brahman in his head. Meaning he is realized, he is transformed. Right? Such a person cannot be dislodged. But till the transformation is achieved, you understand? See, when we are a caterpillar and we are on a branch of a tree, if the branch breaks, we will also fall down. But when we have become from caterpillar state to butterfly state, we can fly off. Isn't it? So, till such time, we need to protect ourselves with the sadhana. So, it's an assurance given by sadhana means the disciplines. So, the student is saying, may he protect us both, and the teacher is joining them. In the sense, let this knowledge continue till we become completely transformed. So, Sahanāvavatu means may he protect us both. And then Sahanāvavatu means may we together enjoy, may he cause us to enjoy. Let this study, let this coming together to understand the scripture be enjoyable, right? It should not just be entertaining to our mind, but it should be also giving us the knowledge to the intellect so that we can go deeper. See, the beauty of all these invocations is it has a certain chanting, right? The chanting, the meter, when you chant in that particular meter, it has an intonation. That intonation appeals to the heart, right? The intonation appeals to the heart. And when you interpret it, the meaning appeals to the head, right? So there's a perfect confluence of head and heart. So like I said, you might be coming from different places. When you come, you need to be tuned in, right? And when we are studying the subject, we not only need the help of the gross intellect, we also need to have a powerful subtle intellect, sharp subtle intellect. What is the difference between gross intellect and subtle intellect? Like I said before, mind means what? Flow of thoughts. And when the flow of thoughts are doubting, not determined, it is mind. But when it is decisive, determined, discriminative thought flow, it is intellect. So when the discrimination is within the realm of the world, it is called gross intellect. When the discrimination is between the world and beyond, the transcendental, the terrestrial and the transcendental, it is called subtle intellect, right? So when we are studying the scripture, like last week I told you in the introduction, it is both dharma and moksha. So to gain the knowledge of dharma, we need gross intellect. But when the moment we start talking about moksha, we need the subtle intellect, right? The discrimination is between world and beyond. So this invocation, or for that matter any invocation, the idea is what? To tune in both the mind, intellect, the subtle intellect, everything, so that we can continue. So let this study be enjoyable, not boring, dragging. Oh my God, when will this finish? We haven't even got into the actual Gita. And Gita, he says 701 shlokas. And before that, he is going to do 9 dhyana shlokas. So put together 710. By the way it goes, when will we complete? And we are meeting once a week, So therefore he says, may us both enjoy. When there's a beautiful confluence of mind and intellect, then we really enjoy. As the Guru goes deeper into the text and explores the knowledge from various different angles, it should be enjoyed by the students as well, right? So therefore he says, may us both enjoy. And then he says, may we strive together, sahaviryam karavavahai. See, the teacher is doing his reflection, he has attained the state, coming and giving it as best as he can, coming down to your level and giving, right? But as students, we also need to put in effort. It should not be just the teacher putting in effort, right? So, sahaviryam karavavahai, we will put in the effort. So, whenever you do prayer, please understand this. It is not that the God should give us the result and we will not put in any effort. No, it is not possible. You have to put in the effort, right? You have to do what you can do. So that's the assurance here the student is giving. May we strive together, the chanting. Teacher is already striving, there is no doubt about that. But the student should also strive. Strive means what? Study, reflect, should follow all that. See, we talk about Bahiranga sadhana, Antaranga sadhana. Bahiranga means external, Antaranga means internal disciplines. Externally, we need to keep a positive environment, and we need to keep our body ready to gain this knowledge, right? So, all these disciplines we must follow. And then Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Shravana is what? Listening or reading, listening. Manana is reflecting, thinking, questioning. Questioning what you listen from a different angle to find out whether it is applicable at all times, in what context it is said, etc., and digest the knowledge. And then put it into practice, Nididhyasana, again and again. Go over it, right? Then what happens is, you make this knowledge your own. Like we discussed these things last week, that the individual is ignorant of the original nature, his or her original nature, isn't it? This ignorance. And the ignorance manifests as what? I don't know. That is the first way it manifests. I don't know. Then I don't understand. Then I do not have experience, right? These are three ways in which the ignorance manifests. So, I don't know is removed through Shravana, listening. After listening, now I know, isn't it? Then I don't understand is removed through reflecting, thinking, questioning, right? And then I haven't got the experience of it yet, meaning I'm not yet transformed. So that is removed through what? Nididhyasana, meditation, constant practice, application, right? So all this is striving. Hearing is different from listening. Listening means what? You're open-minded, you're unbiased, right? You are ready to keep aside all your information temporarily. You are ready to re-evaluate, rethink, right? And there is humility. I don't know. And it is important that I know. So the value for this knowledge is there. All these are there in listening. To be open-minded, right? To be humble, to be aware of my limitation. I don't know. Josh Billing says, the trouble with most folks is not so much their ignorance, but they're knowing so many things which ain't so. The problem is knowing. He puts knowing within inverted commas. That's the problem. Ignorance is not much of a problem. Because of that ignorance, we gain certain information and we then think, I know. Right? So our own knowledge becomes an obstacle. So therefore, I need to strive. So the teacher and the taught together, they are praying here. Sahaviryam karavavahai. So that, he says, may we strive together. And then he says, Tejasvi now. Tejasvi means what? Tejas means brilliance. So he says, Tejasvi now aditam. Tejas is interpreted in many different ways. Some people say halo. Halo behind the guru. And they say, I'm seeing halo also. That means there's something wrong in your eyes. Right? Tejas. See, pure consciousness is the supreme brilliance or the enlivening factor, the sentient aspect that enlivens the insentient body, mind and intellect. Right? So as we do tapas, the dirt on our personality is removed. It's like, what is the original state of a brass vessel? Shine. Brass is shine, right? Shining. But when it is exposed to the atmosphere, what happens? It is oxidized. The dirt is covering it. The shine is not there, right? So what do? You clean it. And when you clean the dirt, did you bring in shine, or the shine that is already its original state gets revealed? The shine which is its original state gets revealed, right? So when we do tapas, like he said, may we strive together. When we do tapas, what happens is the malam, the dirt, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, bhaya, all these dirt gets removed, isn't it? All these dirts get removed. And then the original nature, the Atman, the pure consciousness, which is that supreme brilliance, starts manifesting through that person. You understand? So this is called Tejas. Through all the senses, through the mind, through the intellect, the brilliance starts shining. So he says, when he says, may our study become brilliant, not that I will develop good memory. I'll put all this information in my memory so that I can recollect it whenever I want. I can go backwards and forwards. I can, chant the shlokas one after another without seeing a text. This is not the brilliance he's talking about. You understand? He's talking about that original brilliance, not the borrowed brilliance. You understand? Through the book, see, book is only a medium. Through the book, through the text, through the Guru's words, through the Shastra, when we strive doing sadhana, so it's very important. It's not enough if you just read, reflect. Along with that, you need to do sadhana. Both has to go hand in hand. Otherwise, this transformation will not happen. You will get a lot of information. And if you have the gift of the gab, you can probably conduct classes like this, and then you can probably attract more crowd and get name and fame, etc. But that has got nothing to do with deeper understanding or revealing the knowledge through you. The transformation. Are you with me? Therefore, he says, may our study become brilliant. May the study of this scripture make us realize the self. And then he says, ma vidvishavahai. May there be no dispute, no argument. Right? This angle is correct, that angle is correct. There is no dispute. We don't have to fight. All we need to do is, we need to go deeper and realize it, get a first-hand knowledge. You don't have to depend on anybody. Yes, the Guru is telling us, you are not XYZ, you are Atma. Today it is only an information to me. Right? When I put in sadhana, I follow Bahiranga sadhana, Antaranga sadhana, and then the, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. And when I get enlightened, when I realize the self, what happens? It is no more borrowed knowledge. It is my own, original. I don't have to depend on anybody. So why get into dispute, Swami Ramtirtha gives a beautiful story. He says, two fellows sitting on the Himalayas, in one of the mountains, they are sitting and then they are fighting, arguing as to what is the origin of the river Ganges. Torrential flow, so they are arguing. So one fellow is saying, there is a huge giant sitting on top of the mountain and sweating. His perspiration is flowing as river. Another fellow says, no, it is not sweat. He is spitting. You understand? So they are fighting. They are arguing, getting nowhere. So there was a person going that side. He saw these two people arguing. Then he went and said, oh, why you fellows are fighting? What happened? Then they told this. He said, okay, I understood, but I am not going to give you the answer. If you are really serious to know the answer, where the water is coming from, right? You come with me. They said, no, you tell us. We'll still come with you, but you tell us. He said, water comes from the rocks. Water comes from the rocks? This is what I told you. You're ready to come with me? I'll show you. Come. They said, okay, we will come with you. So he took them to the source. Then they saw it themselves. Water is coming from the rocks. So like this, so many of us are arguing. Advaita, there are different schools, school of thoughts. This angle, Advaita is correct. Dvaita is correct. Vishishtadvaitam is correct. Vishishtadvaitam is qualified monoism. Dvaitam is dualism. And Advaitam is non-dualism. Right? And all of us having different school arguing, this is correct, that is correct, which is correct, my angle is correct. Just relax. In argument, there is more heat than light. In discussion, there is more light. In argument, I am interested in my point of view. I am emphasizing on my point of view. I am interested in my point of view. I have fallen in love with my point of view. In discussion, my point of view is not important. What is important is truth, the facts. I and my is not important. Right? So he is saying that here, may we not hate each other, fight with each other, dispute with each other. Let us not argue. Let this education not become an argument, fighting unnecessarily. It is very important, isn't it? Because by winning an argument, you are going to get anywhere. Are you going to get anywhere? No way. You are not going to get anywhere. Right? We may have a temporary satisfaction that I have won the argument. But deep inside, I still don't know the truth. I have established my supremacy over other temporarily, but deep within, I know how shallow and hollow I am. Isn't it? A person who really knows the truth doesn't fight, doesn't argue. There is no point, because they are arguing from their level. So, in short, I will have Shraddha. Shraddha means loosely translated as faith. But it is not just faith. It is faith plus conviction plus consistency. Adi Shankara explains Shraddha as faith in the words of the Guru, faith in the words of the Shastra. I will continue following the Shastra till Shastric vision becomes my original experience. See, for want of words, we are using the word experience. Self-realization is not an experience. Are you with me? It is knowing. You are already the truth. Right? Just covered by ignorance. When you remove the ignorance, you realize the self. It's not gaining. It's not an experience. The experiencing mind is dissolved. You go beyond the mind. That is self-realization. Right? So, let us not get into arguments, because what happens is, in many places, even on these words, arguments are there. No, you can't call it realization. You call it enlightenment. Why fight with these words also? You understand? Oh, you use the word experience. Is it an experience? Let's not get into any of the argument. We should reveal the truth. So, therefore, both the teacher and the taught together, they do this prayer. And when we have started the journey, the obstacles can come from different angle, isn't it? Many different angle. So, we need to ward off all those obstacles, because this thought comes from the deeper understanding that while my effort is important and necessary, the grace of the total or the divinity is also very, very important. Right? See, when a flight goes from, like say for example, Delhi to Mumbai, it may go in 1 hour 15 minutes, 45 minutes. While coming from Mumbai to Delhi, maybe 1 hour 55 minutes or 2 hours. Why that extra time? They'll say headwind, tailwind. And tailwind, even though the engine speed is same, you reach little faster, isn't it? When it is headwind, takes a little more time. So, what kind of karmas I have done, what kind of situation I am going to face, what all obstacles will come, I don't know. But I am here ready to put in effort. Right? All these days, I was having certain concepts. I believed myself to be this limited individual. So now I am ready to go deeper and try to see the vision of the Vedas. So therefore, I need the help of the divinity. That is called grace of the Lord. Like I said before, grace is not preferential, it is universal. But those who have the right attitude, they receive the grace. It's like keeping your windows and doors open so that the sunlight can come in. Sunlight has no preference. Only to this house I will come, that house I will not come, nothing like that. But since your windows and doors are open, sunlight will come. If somebody else's house, windows and doors are closed, it cannot come. Right. So this shows the right attitude. So in the end, they are chanting Om Shanti. The first one is little longer. Shanti means peace. And there, they are addressing the transcendental disturbances. It's called as Adi Daivikam. Right? The transcendental disturbances. See, you must understand that the students were learning the Upanishads sitting in the forest, Himalayas, under the Guru. Understand? So there may be thunder, lightning, all kinds of disturbances coming over which you have no control. Right? So you are praying, there should be no disturbances from that transcendental side. And then what? Terrestrial, external disturbance can be there. Right? So they say, next one, Shanti. Not that longer as the first one and louder as the first one. And the second one is not that loud. And that represents, when you say peace the second time, you are saying let there be no disturbance from the external environment. Adi Bhautikam. Right? And then the third one is almost a mental whisper when you say Shanti. And that is Adhyatmikam, the disturbances that can come from within. As I am sitting in the class, suddenly a thought may come, that did I lock my car? Or did I keep my windows open? Did I switch off the gas at home? All kinds of thoughts can come and they can disturb you. Right? So that is another big problem, the internal disturbance. So from my side, I have done the part. So you please take care. Even if a very, very difficult challenge comes, I should not give up. This giving up is easy, All of us, like even if you think somebody has not done graduation, only done up to school level, not gone to college, don't have to worry. Because all of us have one degree, 1 or 2 degrees, in fact, master's degree. What is that? Master of misunderstanding. We misunderstand stuff. And then another thing is master of starting. We are good in starting, but not continuing till the end. We start many things, isn't it? Even business, before we establish, we'll start 2, 3. Because the bank is giving loan, they're after me, it's available, and some other business is coming for sale, so I will take that. Sometimes it's even unconnected business. Before establishing in one, you go to the next one. It will not work, right? So therefore, we should not be in a hurry. If we are in a hurry, we can never meet Hari. Understand? Narayana. Not possible. So, this entire prayer is done by both the teacher and the taught, beginning of the class, to bring about, like I said, the confluence of mind and intellect. So, when you go to the temple, you leave the chappal outside, right? You leave the chappal outside. Chappal protects your feet, and the feet, you even prostrate at the feet of the Guru, isn't it? The feet of the Guru represents what? The truth. Guru is established in truth and he moves about. So the feet of the Guru represents the truth, right? And that is now covered by this equipments, mind and intellect, because they are now extroverted. All the time, what is the mind thinking? Because of the insecurity, I want more, I want more, I want more. And what is the intellect doing? Which is held as an hostage by the mind. Instead of independently thinking and giving proper guidance, it is thinking within that circle. How I can help the mind to scheme and plan in such a way so that I can get the objects. Just to fulfill, our whole life goes in that, isn't it? So, we need to leave aside the extroverted mind and intellect. That is what symbolizes when we say leave the chappal outside the temple. The extroversion, you got to leave. Then with the introverted mind, you go in, right? Then through the knowledge, you can gain the divinity. You can gain the divinity means you can realize the truth. So therefore, the external equipment, the physical body, the senses, and the mind and the intellect all needs to be tuned in to be able to gain this knowledge. And the focus of the student should be only in striving. Because what happens is, the nature of the mind is to be result oriented. What will I get? When will I get? How soon will I get? Will it happen tomorrow? Will it happen tomorrow? Will it happen tomorrow? That very thought obsession with the result itself becomes an obstacle for us to gain the result. See, before going to sleep at night, you will prepare the room, you will prepare the body, you will have the food 2.5 hours before, you will prepare the body, and then you will prepare the room, isn't it? If needed, you will go and switch on the AC, keep it dark and all that, and then you will go and lie on the bed. But when you exactly fall off to sleep, that is not in your hands. But if you say, I must sleep, I must sleep, I must sleep, and if you are obsessed with that, that obsession itself will hinder you from falling off to sleep. So therefore, this word striving is a very important word. In fact, in the Vedanta treatise book given by Swamiji, our Guru, he writes, the motto of life should be to strive, to struggle, not to succeed. Not to succeed doesn't mean quote failure. You don't worry about success. That is in the hands of the divinity. It's the problem of the total. See, when I put in effort, today's effort becomes success tomorrow or failure tomorrow. If I do correct action, it will be success. If it's improper action, wrong action, failure. So from my side, I do action, I take care of the attitude. I'm continuously putting in the effort. Whenever it happens, let it happen. So my attention should not slip to the result. That is another problem, the obstacle, isn't it? In the thoughts, when we say, the internal problem, the obstacle that can come, the last chanting of peace is to address the internal disturbances. This is another bigger problem. The worries of the past, anxieties of the future, all this is the problem. When will I get? When will I get? When will I? How soon? Will it happen today? In the 11th chapter of the Gita, Arjuna requests Sri Krishna to show the Vishwarupa, the cosmic form. And when he asks that, he tells, please show me Vishwarupa if you think I am qualified. There is a saying in English, a stone that is fit for the wall would not be found on the way. You get what you deserve, not what you desire. A stone that is fit for the wall would not be found on the way. So when the shishya is 100% ready, the transformation happens. So you should not say, when will it happen? When will it happen? No mental disturbance, no external disturbance, no transcendental disturbance. Let there be no disturbance. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And also, we need to understand the power of thoughts. Right? When we deeply wish, and that wish also is for the evolution of oneself and the harmony of the total, then that wish is a command and it will be fulfilled. Right? So this, when they say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, when they say that, it is not a demand, it is a command. Not an arrogant command, humble command. They understand the power of thought. When we do these classes online, there may be disturbances in the signal or power cut, something or the other, right? And when we powerfully chant together from the bottom of our heart, it's a command. This peace will be given to you to be able to achieve the success. The divinity will be there throughout our journey till we bring about the transformation. So it is the Shraddha also and it is the law also. It's a fact also. In fact, what is happening to us is as per our thoughts only. It is just that we do not have one thought, we have too many thoughts. So the resultant we are getting. You understand? So therefore, collectively together, the teacher and the taught, together, they are praying for an environment externally and internally for them to tune into this knowledge and gain the knowledge till I bring about transformation. That is invocation. So invocatory prayer is what? Invoking the right conducive spirit atmosphere within and without to continue putting in effort till I bring about transformation. So it's not begging, So therefore they are saying all this. You should protect us. It should be enjoyable. We will put in the effort, strive. Right? A lot of people, when they read this concept called surrender, Sharanagati, Prapanna, even when we get on to Dhyana shlokas, is this shloka which says Prapanna Parijataya. Prapanna means prapatti, the surrender. The word surrender is highly misunderstood. Blindly surrender. अब सब कुछ भगवान देख लेंगे. you will not put in any effort, you will want Bhagavan to come and write the exam for you. And some of the movies also, they show like this. You understand? Lord Ganesha will come in your form, he will go there and write the exam, and you will be number one, first. Nothing like that. We have to put in our effort. Tapas is an extremely important aspect. Later on in the Gita, you will see he emphasizes yajna, dana, tapa. There's nothing you will achieve without tapas. At the age of 95, my guru is still doing tapas. You understand? So constantly you got to continue putting in tapas. Tapas, when we say, it is a discipline that has two aspects to it. The first aspect is conservation of energy that gets dissipated in the lower channel. The energy that gets dissipated in the lower channel needs to be conserved. And the conserved energy, that's the second aspect. The conserved energy should be directed towards the goal, purpose. So what are the two aspects? Conservation of energy that is getting dissipated in the lower channels, right? The second one is the energy thus conserved should be directed towards the higher goal, purpose. And when we continue doing the tapas, we become tejasvi. The tamas, the ignorance, all that will be removed. This is the problem. The darkness will be removed and the self starts shining through our personality. We become more and more sattvic, balanced, composed and serene, and finally attain oneness with the divinity. Merge and become self-realized, enlightened. So this is the meaning of the prayer, invocatory prayer we chant before the class, every class, right? So we should remember this and chant with that bhav, not mechanically chant. See, anything we do, we should do it sincerely, right? Not while we attempt sincerely, we may fall, that is okay. And every time we fall, we should rise like a rubber ball, not stay put there as a lead plate. So it is better to strive, fall, strive and continue, but continue. But you should strive. We should put in the effort. That tapas, that individual effort, that is needed. So that is what this prayer is emphasizing. So we can conclude now, and next week we will start Dhyana Shlokas. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyairva Buddhyatmana va Prakriti Swabhavat Karomi Adhyad Sakalam Parasmahi Narayanayeti Samarpayami.